So you may not know, but for every reason, now people are talking about Harry Kane might leave Bayern next summer because of release clause that's supposedly IThere in his contract, which I don't think Harry Kane will leave Bayern. I don't think he should leave Bayern. But still, I think it's cool to think about and look at the teams that maybe could get Harry Kane and look and see what the fit would be at that team. And maybe if actually going to any of these teams actually be better than staying at Bayern. And I think, like, again, I'm struggling with ideas, so I'm going with this Harry Kane leaving Bayern links. I'm looking at 3 teams that Harry Kane might go to and see what's a better fit, and should he stay at Bayern or should he move to any of these teams. I think the first team that is linked to, I think it's very obvious, could be Man United, right? I think this team is linked to every single player in existence, ever since I'm born. I don't think there's a single player in the footballing world where this team hasn't been linked with that player yet. But I think this link actually makes a lot of sense for both Harry Kane and actually following Man United. I don't think Harry Kane really has a really good point joining Man United. I think for Man United it would be amazing to see him join. Also, they're going to kind of rebuild mode or whatever. So actually bring in a other player to kind of slow minutes away from Seshko isn't really ideal for them. But I think Harry Kane is a guy that for 3 years of instant quality, I don't think I can very much lose on that. I think Seshko, I think we can all see, and I don't think Mourinho really thinks of him as a truly prepared striker to play every single Premier League game for United and being able to rely on him every single game. I think Harry Kane, if he was brought in like in the winter, for example, or next year, I think it will be a great mentor to Seshko. I think you can have a great rotation in that of Harry Kane and Seshko, maybe even like play Seshko as one number 10 to see Mourinho a lot of times play that striker like such as Xerxes. In your arms also, there'll be a lot of times at the number 10 position behind the striker, and that Sports need that a lot. We had Paulinho in Gyökeres, and Paulinho was a striker before Gyökeres came, and we saw a lot of Paulinho playing alongside Gyökeres as one of the number 10s behind him. So I don't think that's really a problem with playing both Seshko and Harry Kane alone, and Harry Kane will be a guy that automatically makes United over the team offensively. I think obviously they spent a lot of money to invest offensively this summer. They brought in Ryan Miermo, Matheus Cunha, Mr. Seshko. So I don't think that there's a lot more investment needed offensively rather than investing on the midfield and defensively. But Harry Kane is a guy that I think goes to United. I think they're like in 10th place or 9th place United right now. I think that's a player that goes to United and instantly makes them a top 6 contender because of how good truly is. I don't think we truly value how good Harry Kane is, and him going to United, able to play under in front of Matheus Cunha, Ryan Miermo, Bruno Fernandes, who are all players who are amazing of playing the ball and playmaking. I think Harry Kane will be way better than Man United than a lot of people think. I think it'll be amazing for Man United. Now, I don't think Harry Kane should be going to Man United because they're not, like, other than the financial aspect of this move, I don't think United is a team that's as good as right now. I think there are a lot of teams that will be able to move for him. I think will be better in the end. But I think for United, this is a move that for me at least makes sense to try and persuade next summer. I think Harry Kane is also a striker that Mourinho really likes, type of striker that is very mobile, can very much just drop back into the pitch, link playing with the others. Also, being able to play in the box is kind of a natural striker. I think Mourinho will love that Harry Kane type of strikers, and as you see, like a lot of times, like how this type of strikers actually move for the Harry Kane. I think it's a guy that if you want to play with the ball in possession, you can get him to play that. Also, if you want to play more into the transitions and counter-attacks, it happens a lot with the Mourinho. Harry Kane is also a player that's able to do that because he's a guy that has a very good passing, and he's a guy that on off the ball is going to be amazing as well. I think Harry Kane, in terms of for Harry Kane, is it good for him to move to Man United? I don't think so. But I think Man United, I think this is a move that would be amazing for them to instantly turn them into a better team and also allow Seshko to ease some of the pressure off and maybe Ramos Ocean now. Because Ramos Ocean came into this team of a lot of expectations and he was the number 1 striker in that team. That pressure obviously is not great for anyone, so maybe that's why he failed, also why Xerxes failed, at least for now. So I think bringing Harry Kane, a guy who can take some pressure off Seshko, Seshko can learn of Harry Kane as well. I think in terms of, for Man United, I think this move will be a 10 out of 10. Will make perfect sense. So if this move is truly on the cards and Harry Kane could look to leave Bayern next summer, I think Man United is a team that at least has to persuade and see what Harry Kane thinks about this move. Because Harry Kane is also a guy that's been linked to Man United a long time before even moving to Bayern. I think every single year so Harry Kane links Man United. And we see right now, all the striker market is always like moving. Every single summer we see a lot of strikers move clubs. And next summer, it might be the case again. Harry Kane might be one of those guys that could be wanted by a lot of teams. Next up is Spurs. I think it really makes sense for Harry Kane to go back to Spurs or that homecoming kind of thing. I think with the real motive, like one of the reasons I want Harry Kane to go back to Premier League is because of the record he can achieve to become the Premier League's highest goal scoring ever. And I think to achieve that with Spurs rather than Man United, I think would be very ideal for him. And even looking at type of managers right now, even looking at their teams, I think Spurs is a better team to go to right now than Man United. I think Spurs had great investments this summer. I think looking at the Tottenham looks very well. Also, they have some points already to lose a game here and there. But I think as a team, they are amazing. And Thomas Frank, I think, obviously they don't really have a solidified striker. So long he came in for a lot of money. I don't think he played well enough to justify their price tag. I don't think he's also playing well enough to solidify that place starting 11. Now, Richarlison hasn't playing pretty well. I think, 3 goals already in the league or 2 goals already in the season. I think Harry Kane obviously is a lot of levels above both those guys. And I think if you truly bring him to Spurs and be able to play under Thomas Frank with him, I think that that squad becomes very much scary. I mean, you have Kudus, you have Xavi Simons, you have Harry Kane on that front line with Kulusevski as well. If you want to play Madsen as well, Ryan Shawson, I think that squad instantly becomes very good in terms of depth and quality. And for Tottenham, that might be the last piece they want to truly become a great team, to truly become a tougher contender, to truly become one of the teams. I mean, obviously, Harry Kane was to come to Tottenham. I actually put them in the same tier of quality as Man City, and even maybe above Chelsea as well, because that's how good Harry Kane is and how good it will fit to Tottenham Hotspur. Looking at starting 11, looking at the players they have, the quality of the players they have, I don't imagine out Harry Kane that team wouldn't be an amazing team. I mean, that defensive line is pretty good. The midfield line is turning out to be actually pretty good. Barry Val's been playing very well. Papes are also been playing pretty well. Kudus, Xavi Simons, Madsen, like they're creative midfielders as well, been playing amazing. I mean, I think this will be a move that makes sense for both Harry Kane because he's homecoming to Spurs, to achieve the record maybe he very much wants, and it will be the team that kind of gets him the better fit and kind of gets him a way better type of win now type of mindset that Man United might bring to him next summer. Also for Spurs, that's really good because I don't think it's going to be very expensive. I think the risk cost is very low actually for this quality. So I don't think Spurs will be not willing to pay that risk cost. I think Spurs will get one of the best strikers in the world, a world-class striker indeed, and that will elevate their team so much. And I think we'll do so much honor to that team and that fan base, and really bring a very positive vibe to the team. And I saw Thomas Frank as well speak on the press conference, I think some days ago. He said like you'd like to see Harry Kane come back to Spurs. A lot of Spurs fans also like to see Harry Kane come back to Spurs. I think that's a move that both for the club and the player makes sense. And if he is to come to England, I think he should be going to Spurs because I think that, again, it's a team that offers more than Man United has right now. And I think it's just like the whole storyline of this thing of Harry Kane coming back to Spurs to win at least a trophy. I think right now, if you look at all the years he played with Spurs, this might be the year where the Spurs has the best team to put him around with for a long time. I look at this team with the player quality. I think they are better than the team with the one Champions League with Harry Kane. I really think that. I think Harry Kane moving to this team, I think they have a very good shot of competing for Premier League, of competing for those cup trophies and making a long run in Europe. I would actually think that. So I think for me, in terms of all the teams I'm going to mention, at least in England, I think this team it makes the most sense, and I think I'll love to see him back in a Spurs shirt for sure. Now, third team is Barcelona. Now, this is my final team, the third team, because I think all teams also gonna want Harry Kane. I think all teams also are very set on what they have in terms of striker. I think Liverpool is very certain they have a good striker partnership. I think City also is confident with Haaland. Real Madrid might want to still trust Mbappe as a striker. I mean, he's been playing very well as striker, so I don't know why to take him off of that position. I mean, in Italy, I don't think that's really a team that can offer as much to Harry Kane. So I think Barcelona is a team that next year they have to start thinking about replace Lewandowski, right? Lewandowski is getting kind of old, and I think it's going to expire next summer as well. And I think it makes sense for him to leave now this next summer for Barcelona, leave on a high in that team and let them continue their projects around the new striker. And Harry Kane is a guy that makes sense for them both on the pitch and also financially. Because again, we have to also think about their problems financially in Barcelona. I think like their dream target would be Nevertheless, but I don't know if they have the money to do that work. And Harry Kane might be a guy that with that lower release clause, if Barcelona pulls the strings, I think Barca might have to come out with the money required to make this signing. And Harry Kane, I mean, thinking of Harry Kane playing with Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, Dani Olmo, Fermin Lopez, Pedri, I feel like this team will just go above a notch. Even like I think like there are really a lot of ways they can really make this Barcelona team improve. They have a great goalkeeper in their hands, Isaac Garcia. To bring in a guy like Harry Kane on that team as a striker, I really imagine him having 40 goal seasons in La Liga. I really imagine that. We're seeing how well he's playing at Bayern with that front three behind him. To be able to see him play with Lamine Yamal and Rafinha, players who are able to make things happen so easily for Harry Kane. And as Harry Kane is a guy that can also make things easier for Rafinha and Lamine Yamal to also work in that front three. I mean, in terms of the move that puts Harry Kane in the best position to win against trophies and to make the best team, Harry Kane should be with Barcelona. Also, be another experience because he never played in Spain. And Harry Kane is a guy that could go to Barcelona, even improve them further up, which I think there are not a lot of players that can make that at Barcelona, especially in terms of offensive levels. I think there are a lot of strikers available or going to be playing better than Lewandowski last year. Harry Kane obviously is one of them. And we've seen Barcelona try to bring in that marquee striker for a long time. They've always wanted to go for Allen, for example. They also wanted to go for Julian Alvarez for a while now. While I do think that financially, I don't think Alvarez and Allen, those dreams are, I think, far-fetched financially. Harry Kane is a way more accessible option in terms of bringing in terms of financially the money working. I truly think this would be an amazing move for both Harry Kane and Barcelona. And I don't really have much to say. I think we can all see how good Harry Kane will be in Barcelona, how great to make that deal even be further up. And I think also going to Hansi Flick always love the type of player he is. And I think that team will be able to play very well with him. If Rashford also stays at Barcelona next year, which I don't think, I don't know if it can happen or not, also be even better for this that team period Barcelona. But for now, I think like of all these three teams, I'll put Barcelona as the best option for him. Then Spurs, then obviously Man United. I think if he does want to come to England, which I think is something that I think he truly desires to come back to England, I think Spurs is maybe the best option that there might be. Right now, also Spurs City that right now doesn't really have a lot of fear in spending money. So I think Spurs will be an amazing team for him to go to England. I think Man United is really a tier below. I don't think, obviously, again, with the rebuild mode, I don't think that's the thing that Mourinho and the United board and whatever are not really excited to bring to the team. I think obviously Barcelona in terms of sporting sense and for Harry Kane as well in terms of still competing for trophies. I also think that he's winning at Bayern. I don't think he won't stop winning trophies now. I think in that sense that puts Barca as the number one choice. Then Spurs, then Man United.